Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of RC Heli Journal. My name is Chris. I myself am pretty new to the hobby actually. I started about a year ago with a little coaxial helicopter that I got from Walkera Helicopters. It was the HM53QD, and they actually don't make that helicopter anymore. So once I had spent about 150 battery cycles on it, then it was finished. I had to get rid of it, and I decided to move on to collective pitch helicopters, which I started with in about June with the Storm 430 helicopter. It actually wasn't a very good helicopter. I paid about $250 for it shipped, which was pretty pricey considered some of the kits that you can get ready to fly now. It was a ready to fly kit, and it came with its own cheap transmitter, cheap 6-channel transmitter. It was a no-name brand. It actually worked pretty well for the purpose of getting started with the hobby and just kind of getting into the whole 6-channel collective pitch helicopter realm. I struggled with that quite a bit. Actually crashed it several times and ended up rebuilding a bunch of times, and it kind of taught me a lot about how to build these things. So what I ultimately did is I ended up building my own collective pitch 6-channel helicopter. And there's a lot of clones out there. This one I actually don't think of as a clone. I think of it more as a replica of a helicopter that was pretty popular a few years ago. And it's the one that a lot of the clones are based on right now in the 450 size. It's got a lot of aligned parts on it, as you can see. It has an aligned boom, aligned blades. There's actually some aligned parts here in the rotor head, but the rotor head itself is actually made up of a few different kinds of rotor heads from other helis that I've crashed in the past already. You can see here we've got an EXI rotor head up here with the blade grips, and then further down this is just a generic flybar cradle that we got from Hong Kong, and then below that you can see in the washout arms here and the linkages, those are actually aligned parts. And again, we have another generic swash plate down here. Actually went ahead and bought the fiberglass aligned canopy for the original T-Rex 450 SE version 2, which is what this helicopter is supposed to be a replica of. And if you look back here, you can see that we've actually got the carbon fiber frames from the original model, along the aligned tail boom here. And I went ahead and did some real careful work here to make sure that the servo wires don't get chafed by vibrations and cut into, so that we lose signal to our servo by putting this mesh on here that I paid just a few bucks for off of eBay. And I went ahead and put that together like that. Did a few nice little extra things up top here. I went ahead and put some prison tape to help me with orientation, because I'm starting to get into 3D maneuvers now. That's a new thing for me. And I like to be able to see, whether I'm looking at the top of the rotor disc or the bottom of the rotor disc where there are no markers. I've got some high visibility tail rotor blades back here to help me with orientation. But later, actually, tomorrow, I'm looking at getting some parts in the mail where I'm going to have some carbon fiber Curtis Youngblood blades back here. I'm actually going to also have an upgrade to the tail slider, an aluminum tail slider from Micro Heli. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there too, and I'll be making a video with that. So that's my replica of the T-Rex 450 ST version 2. And one of the other things here that I've been doing since I upgraded to the higher end radios from the radio that came with the Ready to Fly kit and the original helicopter that I purchased, I went ahead and decided to go with the Futaba radio. It's an 8-channel radio. It's a T8J, and the reason that I went with that, it's a good high quality radio. It has a built-in antenna, a dual diversity antenna inside the radio. And to match that, we've got the 8-channel receiver right down here in the heli. And the antenna, as you can see, is oriented. There are 2 antennas that come off of that receiver, and they're oriented in a 90-degree angle from each other to match the transmitter properties according to the instructions. It's actually a very nice 8-channel radio. It has all the programming of the higher-end Futaba T8J. You can go into your menus here and set all these different parameters, and you have your swash mixing, your throttle curve, pitch curve. You've got your fail-safe. You've got your sub-trims and endpoints. A whole lot of other features. It's a real nice radio. A lot of digital trims here. The switches are all real nice. The sticks move real nice on the radio. Highly recommend it. I haven't had any trouble with it whatsoever. The only thing is a lot of people are using Spectrum these days, so there's some compatibility issues, especially if you want to go with the blade helicopters and things like that. To learn how to fly the helicopter, I've got the Real Flight 6 simulator here that I've been using, and this is a fantastic way to learn this stuff, guys. I've learned a lot of the 3D maneuvers right here on the simulator. And about the only problem is having the guts to actually do it out there in the field. But once you do, you realize you learn a great deal from the simulator, and it pretty much translates to real life. We're going to do a lot of things, guys. We're going to go out and we're going to see what some of the more experienced guys are doing here in the local area. We might go visit Alan Moulton and see some of his flying. He's got some really good access to a lot of really good models, like his Goblin 700 painted in the Angry Birds scheme. It's a real interesting helicopter, and hopefully we'll get to visit with him and see some of his flying. Shawn Dennis, he's a really good pilot too, and we'll get to see him fly, hopefully with his T-Rex 700E DFC. Like I said, he's really good, and it should be a lot of fun, and hopefully we can get a close-up look at that machine as well. And then I've been saving this. We actually got this in the mail about a month ago, and we're still paying for this. So we're not going to actually open the box itself, but we can open the shipping container anyway and show you what's inside. And this is interesting because we're going to spend some time with the 450 here, learning how to do a lot of the forward flight and 3D maneuvers and things like that. And we're actually going to do some upgrades on the 450 too that we're going to be videotaping. But once all that's done, and once we get it paid for, we're going to go ahead and go forward with this model right here, and we're going to do an unboxing and build on it, and set up and do some flying. And that's the T-Rex 500E Pro model. So that should be a lot of fun, and we'll learn a lot. And basically, you'll be doing that with us. You'll be learning as we learn while we're putting it together and building it and flying it and setting it up and programming it, and just all the things that go along with a helicopter like this, and basically being new to the hobby. So that should be real interesting. I want to say a few things here about the inspiration behind this channel and the things that we're doing. I spend a lot of time. I'm kind of a new fan of Ray over at the YouTube channel Nitro Kyosho. I really like his philosophy and his approach to this hobby, and if you're interested in checking out his channel, he actually has not only a great deal of knowledge in the RC helicopter hobby, but in a lot of other hobbies as well. He's really enjoyable to watch, so you might check him out. Also wanted to mention that it was Ray over there at Nitro Kyosho who set me up with the idea of checking out A-Main Hobbies. I actually ordered some of these parts that we're going to be getting for the 450 in the next episode to make the improvements to the tail from A-Main Hobbies, and so it'll be interesting to see when that box comes, the products as we unbox them and go ahead and use them on the helicopter. I ordered the products a couple weeks ago. They got a tracking number on it. It looks like they're going to be here tomorrow. So, so far so good with the service. They were a real pleasure to work with. They sent me a thank you and set me up with some customer reward points for using their service. So with that, I just wanted to say thanks for watching us at the RC Helicopter Journal. We hope to, like I said before, we hope to develop a following with a bunch of you and It should be a lot of fun. Thanks again.